There's a commonality between the number of days scholars are absent and academic achievement. Nationally, chronic absenteeism is defined as that 18-day threshold. But we can't afford to wait 18 days because when our scholars miss 10 days for any reason, they score 12 points lower on standard reading tests, 15 points lower on standard math tests, and they're 34% less likely to graduate on time. We set out to empower our parents in partnership with Shoes and Clothes for Kids to reduce the number of days that our scholars are absent. When scholars have on-track attendance, they're prepared for workforce. They're college and career ready. The community should support Shoes and Clothes for Kids because it's a great investment. You're going to give $1 that's actually going to carry that child into their next stage of development. That scholar knows that someone cares about me.
We've seen such tremendous growth in the city of Cleveland, but I don't think a lot of people realize that there are still so many families and children in particular that are living in poverty. I actually had the opportunity to meet a woman. She's actually a nurse at the Cleveland Clinic, and I told her that I was involved with Shoes and Clothes for Kids, and she almost broke down in tears talking to me. She said, I was a young mom with 2 children, and I received clothes from Shoes and Clothes for Kids, and I don't know what I would do without you. I think the key to all of this is education. When we're giving them the opportunity to get to school with the proper attire, with the proper footwear, and with the school supplies that they need, that gives them the opportunity to succeed in the classroom and be successful beyond that.
Families that live in poverty are up against a lot of challenges, and Shoes and Clothes for Kids helps with a small portion of that. Merrick House is a Shoes and Clothes for Kids distribution site. When the families or the moms come to pick up their distributions, they're excited. We have everything set up according to size, and they're able to look through the items and choose the items that they would like.
Me being a single mom of 5 kids, it does wonders. I want my kids to go to school, feel ready. They got everything right in front of them. They're dressed nice, their clothes are clean, new shoes.
Sometimes I get dresses, coats. I love my coat that I have. I like the notebooks because I like to draw in them. It makes me feel good because it feels like I'm just one of the other girls.
They just come home smiling. When I pick them up from school, they're just smiling. It does something to them, brings their self-esteem up, and I really love it.
And the children are excited. Kids, they know what clothing is and they know what new clothes are. And then the mom, it's just kind of like a relief that they're like, okay, we're okay. An opportunity for a mother to say, this is taken care of, now let me deal with what's next. A helping hand, if you would. That's what Shoes and Clothes for Kids is.
Our mission is now about alleviating barriers to education. So everything we do is with the mission of helping kids get to school. This goes well beyond just an act of charity, if you will. If we do not educate this next generation of students, this city's never going to fulfill its economic potential. Our gift to the community is really this new direction that we're taking. It's not just a feel-good story anymore. It's a story that has concrete outcomes. When somebody gives us dollars, we can go back and say, this is how your dollars were spent and this is the impact it had. We're committed to collaboration and finding ways to work with other institutions, nonprofits, funders, because at the end of the day, it's all about getting product to the kids so they can get to school and learn.
My motto is, if I can help somebody as I pass it along, then my living will not be in vain. So how do we, as individuals on a day-to-day basis, help people? Maury and Alan and the founders of Shoes and Clothes for Kids, what they did was they recognized a problem in our community. What Maury basically did was just say, how do I address this? What do I do? And he just started buying shoes and throwing them in his trunk of his car and going around and handing them out. We're thinking outside of the box. We're really thinking about what are some of these barriers to attendance, barriers to being successful in school, and how might we do some things to actually help that process. I get pretty passionate about this because I think we solve a lot of our community problems by each of us doing our part. And it may look like it's small, but collectively it builds a positive momentum and has impact.
As teachers, especially in an urban district, we're always buying things for our kids. And it's so empowering for students to have brand new materials. Shoes and Clothes for Kids affords teachers to come in twice a year and freely get those things for our students. I had one 8th grader. He actually was bringing his books in a Save-A-Lot bag. And I said, you know what, I have these 2 backpacks and I just don't know what to do with them. And he said, Miss Evans, can I have one? And I said, yeah. But when he came in the next day with the backpack, you know, he walked a little straighter. You don't get to pick and choose your parents. You don't get to pick and choose where you grow up. You don't get to have that conversation with God. And so it's our responsibility to do what we can for all the students that we have. The community and people that give, please know that everyone is grateful, and that is your investment in our best resource, and that's our babies.
Shoes and Clothes for Kids to us is one of the staple organizations in town. At their core, they're trying to serve kids, and they do that very, very well. They're an outstanding partner. They listen. They also are very focused on the child and the families that they serve. They've been a tremendous partner in this creation of the new program.
What we've undertaken in the last year or so is piloting a program where we're providing a week's worth of clothing for kids. In this package, they have everything they need to get to school. 3 school uniforms, a casual outfit, socks, underwear, a shoe gift card.
Sometimes clothing is a barrier to attending school. And because of this wonderful collaboration, we're seeing our scholars thrive, attendance improve.
Early indications show a tremendous increase in attendance, particularly in the middle school 6th to 8th grade range.
We're measuring their absenteeism prior to receiving the package and then after they receive the package. And the data has shown that we are having the impact that we intended to have.
We really believe that we're on to something, that we discovered something that works.
So this allows for the work they do to be measured in a very tangible, digestible manner. And I'm so excited to see what they are able to accomplish in the coming years.
Went to school! You can make it!
Students at Elmira Elementary School received a gift today that will keep on giving throughout the school year: new uniforms and school supplies. 3rd grader Khalees says it almost felt like Christmas Day.
It's good that I have new clothes, so now when I go to school, they'll feel comfortable. I got 2 polo shirts, some socks, and underwear, and some other stuff. And I got a sweater.
Elmira is one of 5 schools participating in the newly formed pilot program started by the nonprofit Shoes and Clothes for Kids, along with schoolwear company French Toast. The lack of clean and appropriate clothing can be a barrier to school attendance. Principal Jim Green says chronic absenteeism can have a long-term effect on a child's education.
Whenever a child does not come into school, that means they're falling behind. And what happens is after you miss 9, 10 plus days, that could actually cause a reduction in your test scores, which we want to make sure that no matter where our scholars are at throughout the year, that we're setting them up for success.
SC4K Executive Director Terry Yule says giving children the necessary tools for learning will also help teachers concentrate on the curriculum and not trying to find clothing for students.
So this idea was, how could we find close to 1,000 kids and provide them everything they need during the school year, school clothing, school supplies, winter clothing, books, whatever else we come up with, all 9 months, over 3 years, and see if it would improve the attendance and see if we could improve third grade reading scores.
Rich Sutton, the CEO of LT Apparel Group, which owns French Toast, says seeing the students with their new clothes is nice, but the long-term impact these shirts and pants will have on their lives is why he didn't hesitate to help.
They think this is really cool, fun, great. They're getting some neat stuff that they need for school. But what we really know is that we're really going to try and change their future. And if we do our little part to have them have better class attendance, and if that better class attendance leads to better grades, I think that's the massive win that we're really going for.
These scholars are already excited to come to school in their new threads.
Coming to school with my new clothes is great because it will be like awesome. Like I'll get my work done fast. I'll be smart.
During the 3-year program, CMSD will be tracking the kids who receive the uniforms today in the areas of social and emotional learning, K-3 literacy, and attendance.
Got a few other things for you. I'll let you open it up, okay? What do you got in there?
I'm gonna pull it out?
Yes, please.
Cool!
Oh, 2?
Nice.
I can wear these at a party.
Dad used to jog at the Central Y, and he would see kids after school, and in the cold weather they frequently didn't have adequate clothes or shoes. He saw that and he decided to take action and do something.
Oh, there's more. Roller, glue, another pair of glue, another pair of glue.
We see kids who are coming in where, they have been evicted from their homes, they've lost their uniforms, and so being able to provide everything that they need when they walk in really makes that kid feel like, you know what, someone cares.
Like this.
I like these. I love my red folder because I love it.
What do you think about when you're getting dressed in the morning?
I think about wearing something that's warm and comfortable.
I think about what do people think about what I'm wearing.
What do you want people to think?
That my clothes are cool and look awesome.
When I don't have new clothes, I'd be a little bit nervous about school. You can easily get bullied if you don't wear something good.
If I have to go to work today and I have a big stain on my shirt, I'm probably going to avoid interacting with people. So imagine translating that to a kid.
Every kid deserves a chance to reach their full potential, and you can't do that if you don't have a clean shirt on your back and new shoes to wear.
Feeling good about what you have on, what you're wearing, it definitely entails how your day is going to start and end.
Shoes and Clothes for Kids has innovated itself, has continually grown to successfully impact the community in a positive way.
When you think about their history of how they have changed with the times, but they still stuck to their vision of their founders, it's amazing.
So many generations have come through this program. I think he would be very pleased and very proud, and that's his legacy.
Kids living in poverty is nothing that should be a reflection on them. It is their circumstances, and I think to be able to remove that and take that away is so important. And it's our obligation to do so.
Thank you for this present for me.
Hello, I'm Lamont Mackley, Chairman of the Board for Shoes and Clothes for Kids. Good evening, and welcome to Shoes and Clothes for Kids virtual fundraising event. We are streaming live this event for your enjoyment and participation, as well as holding a live event at the Shoreby Club. I'm delighted to be in two places at once. The money you help us raise tonight will go to buy shoe vouchers, school clothing, school supplies, for the Cleveland area kids. We need your help, and we thank you for your help. Our thanks to all of the sponsors that you see on the screen. We appreciate all their help and willingness to support the work we do in our community.
When I don't have new clothes, I'd be a little bit nervous about school. You can easily get bullied if you don't wear something good.
Whenever a child does not come into school, that means they're falling behind. That could actually cause a reduction in your test scores.
We're really thinking about what are some of these barriers to attendance, barriers to being successful in school, and how might we do some things to actually help that process.
Everything we do is with the mission of helping kids get to school. It's not just a feel-good story anymore. It's a story that has concrete outcomes. This goes well beyond just an act of charity, if you will.
We're really going to try and change their future. And if that better class attendance leads to better grades, I think that's the massive win that we're really going for.
It makes me feel good because it feels like I'm just one of the other girls.
I think we solve a lot of our community problems by each of us doing our part. And it may look like it's small, but collectively it builds a positive momentum and has impact.
You don't get to pick and choose your parents. You don't get to pick and choose where you grow up. And so it's our responsibility to do what we can for all the students that we have.
I'm Tom Gill, president at Urban Community School. I thought I would read an email that really captures the essence of the partnership between Urban Community and Shoes and Clothes for Kids. I got this a few weeks ago from a graduate of our school. She wrote to me, "At St. Wendellin's, the teacher's lounge had a big bag of clothes. My pants split when I was in 6th grade or junior high. Sister Martha, and Ursula's sister, took me to the lounge where I found an oversized pair of dark navy blue cords. I wore those pants partly through my first year of college and would have continued to wear them even after my dad spilled bleach on them, but they tore to shreds. That was over 30 years ago, and I still remember it. And I want to make sure that the school is still meeting this need today." So I got that email, and it was such a reminder to me of how important this service is. Kids still need clothes, as she did all those years ago, but I was thrilled to be able to respond to her and say, we have really professionalized this area of our school. Shoes and Clothes for Kids make sure that all of our kids have what they need, that they're the right size clothes that we give out, that they have them regularly throughout the year. So we are absolutely confident that we continue to meet this need. You know, I could hear the dignity coming through her email, and I know that we still provide that same dignity today, but we do it in a modern way, where we're tracking our academic success data via the partnership that we have with Shoes and Clothes for Kids. We can see the attendance improvement. and we're very, very confident in what we do because of how well they run this operation. And so it's a thrill to be able to respond to this alum and say, yes, we're still doing it, but it's not a bag of clothes in the teacher's lounge anymore. Shoes and Clothes for Kids really helps us do that, and we're just absolutely thrilled with that partnership.
Hello, I'm Gary Voitush. I'm honored to have been asked to speak to you today as a building and district administrator with Constellation Schools that has partnered with Shoes and Clothes for Kids over the past few years. Have you ever seen a child's face light up as they open their supply box to find it filled with new supplies? No broken crayons, pencils with full erasers that are sharpened with the perfect point, markers with all of their caps and an array of colors, a full bottle of glue? You help make that possible. Have you ever walked into a classroom where a teacher has spent days preparing, and the second you walk in, you feel warmth and a desire to be there? You make that possible. All students should have the same opportunities to engage with high-quality learning materials and resources. You make that possible. You help us make children love learning as you help to remove barriers and obstacles they could potentially face. You help to provide equity and equality in our schools, something that is lacking in so many other fields and across our nation. You make that possible. As we all know, the COVID-19 pandemic has left a lasting impact on our most valuable and precious treasures, our students and children. With the help of the Shoes and Clothes for Kids Center, we were able to provide sets of individual classroom supplies to each of our students that they could keep at home while we were operating under our virtual learning model, as well as a set of materials that could be kept at school. While it was a challenge to encourage no sharing in the guarding of personal property, the Resource Center provided us with materials so our students stayed optimally safe. In addition to these school supplies, we were able to acquire disinfecting wipes and hand sanitizer to ensure that our physical spaces were sanitized and clean. We were also able to provide teachers and school staff with learning materials and resources that could be displayed across our classrooms and in our halls as reminders of safe and healthy practices. As an administrator, safety of our students, staff, and families is paramount, and this couldn't have been achieved at such a high level without the partnership with everyone at Shoes and Clothes for Kids. From all of us at Constellation Schools and all schools across the county, thank you. Thank you for recognizing the needs of students across a variety of schools in the greater Cleveland community, and thank you for working with us to ensure that we are providing the best possible holistic education to our students year after year. Being able to provide all of these things to our students is all thanks to the wonderful volunteers, employees, and partners of Shoes and Clothes for Kids. Thank you for being there for us, and thank you for helping to make a difference.
My name is Chandra Ford, and I'm the president of the Boulevard PTA at Cleveland Heights. In the fall of 2020, it was very clear to the executive members of our PTA that this coming school year was going to be like no other. We could see that our kids would most likely be learning remotely. As parents, we realized in the spring when school was shut down due to COVID-19 that our homes were not equipped for teaching. Many didn't have the materials necessary to do so. With so much uncertainty with jobs and income, for some parents, money was tight. Our executive team agreed that our mission to enhance student experience this year would have to be done more by providing social support. We started brainstorming on what that would look like. Someone suggested providing school supplies. We knew that supplies for 300 kids would mean that lots of money would be going out, but little to none would be coming in. I spoke with a teacher, and she said there is this place downtown that teachers go to get supplies, and maybe they could help. But she couldn't remember your organization's name at the time. We started calling you the mystical, magical place downtown until we found out your organization's name was Shoes and Clothes for Kids. When I called, I was told to reach out to Monica Lloyd. I emailed her and asked how could we go about getting supplies for about 300 students. After lots of communication between Monica, school staff, and our executive team, we were able to pinpoint exactly what was needed. When it was all said and done, Shoes and Clothes for Kids was able to surpass our expectations and provide about 95% of what was needed. We only had to use a portion of our own money to get the rest. This was huge because it allowed us to use our funds to help families in other ways, and supplies would be one less thing for parents to worry about. By the beginning of October, we held a drive-through event for families to pick up their supplies at Boulevard. During the following weeks, the kids were so excited to show their teachers and classmates their new pencil sharpeners, colored pencils, and other supplies, even if it was only online. In the midst of all the chaos, that was our new, inconsistent, and ever-evolving COVID world, Shoes and Clothes for Kids was able to help give us a glimpse of normalcy, the precious gift of seeing our kids being excited about new school supplies. For that, we will forever be thankful. You have truly lived up to our nickname for you, the mystical, magical place downtown.
Each year, we honor an organization that is an outstanding partner to our organization. It is always one who helps us meet our mission, one we can learn from, and makes us better. The award is in the name of our Chairman Emeritus, Alan Kulat, who has been a driving force behind our organization for decades. This year, we are proud to recognize Odyssey Cleveland. Their partnership over the past many years has helped us all serve more kids in need in Cleveland in so many different ways. This year, through a unique partnership with Ford Motor Company, they helped us get a free use of a Ford Transit van for the next 2 years so that we can get more clothing and school supplies into the hands of the kids who need it the most. It is on behalf of the Board of Directors and staff. Congratulations to Jeff Miller and Joe Straley and the entire Odyssey team for their support.
On behalf of Odyssey Cleveland, we'd like to thank Shoes and Clothes for Kids for this recognition. It's truly our honor to be involved, and we look forward to doing more great things.
On behalf of Odyssey Cleveland, I would also like to say that fulfilling this media campaign, which is what Jeff and I do day in and day out, was a small part of it, and it was probably one of the most proudest moments of my career when Shoes and Clothes for Kids was awarded that vehicle, because I know what it's going to do for the community.
Volunteers are critical to the success of our organization. On average, each year, the total number of volunteer hours we benefit equals nearly 6 full-time employees. If you are interested in volunteering, go to our website, sc4k.org/volunteer to sign up. This year, we are honoring 5 outstanding individuals who have consistently showed up this year on a weekly basis to help us keep our program running smoothly. They are the kind of volunteers every nonprofit dreams of having: consistent, talented, knowledgeable, and fun to be around. They come in, they know what to do, they get started, and they get the work done. No fuss, no mess. Our staff loves seeing them each week, and many of the area kids benefit because of their hard work. Don, Sam, Lorraine, Amy, and Mark, on behalf of Shoes and Clothes for Kids Board of Directors and our staff, and especially the kids of Cleveland, we thank you for your efforts to support Shoes and Clothes for Kids, and congratulations on winning the 2021 Lori Sayer Award.
Hi, my name is Lorraine Wankata, and I'm a volunteer with Shoes and Clothes for Kids. My first experience with Shoes and Clothes for Kids was 2 years ago, as I was fulfilling a volunteer requirement for a nonprofit organization. Borrowing a quote from their founder, "Nothing is ever too much to do for a child." I saw the same sentiment embodied in the core staff at Shoes and Clothes for Kids. I was in awe of their commitment to ensure that children in need are equipped with the clothing, shoes, and school supplies needed to successfully attend school. Their enthusiasm inspired me to become a weekly volunteer. When the pandemic hit, the needs of school children became more complex. I have 7 family members who are teachers. They shared with me their struggles and concerns for their students' welfare. Like most people, I felt helpless in how to be of service. When Shoes and Clothes for Kids safely reopened their warehouse and allowed a few volunteers to return, I immediately responded. It was an honor to be of help in some small way.
Hi, my name is Sam Gable, and I'm a volunteer at Shoes and Clothes for Kids. As a former teacher myself, I do know the importance of children coming to school and feeling confident. I also feel that when they do well in school and have confidence in school, that it carries out throughout the community and other aspects of their life. So I feel that in that way, it's an organization that's helpful in the schools and just in all aspects of their day.
I'm Amy Weber, and I'm a volunteer for Shoes and Clothes for Kids. When I first moved to Cleveland, downtown, I knew I wanted to volunteer for an organization that does good for others. And I normally like to work with people or kids, but I didn't want to be around others because it was COVID time. So Shoes and Clothes for Kids set up a safe way for us to volunteer through the lockdown and the pandemic. I knew it was going to be safe when I went in. We could spread out, and so we were helping the organization from behind the scenes, setting up the supplies and things the kids are going to get. Now, as a former teacher, I know how it can affect kids to come to school without what they need. It's heartbreaking. It is through no fault of their own, but it affects their self-esteem. It can cause anxiety. They're embarrassed to come. None of that should happen to a child. I have seen the flip side. When everyone does come to school with everything they need, the school anxiety goes away. Everybody's ready to just get down to learning. They're happy to be there. I'm sorry I get emotional. I spent a lot of years teaching, and I've seen hundreds or thousands of kids, and it levels the playing field tremendously when everybody just has what they need, what they should have.
Please support Shoes and Clothes for Kids.
There are 3 ways you can financially support our back-to-school programs, which provide school-appropriate shoes, clothes, and supplies to students in Cuyahoga County. One way is to text Shoreby 2021 to 76278 from your cell phone, and a link will be sent with donation instructions. Another way is to go to our event website at www.nightattheshoreby.com to bid on and buy raffle tickets for our Jarvis Landry, Browns, and Indians experiences, as well as Stock Your Bar, Home Improvement, Out and About in Greater Cleveland, and other themed packages. And now, board members Stephanie Burris and Jessica Miller will talk about the 3rd way to financially support Shoes and Clothes for Kids tonight.
My name is Stephanie Burris. I work at Marcus Thomas, and I've been involved with Shoes and Clothes for Kids for 14 years.
Hi, my name is Jessica Miller, and I work with Sherwin-Williams. I've been involved with Shoes and Clothes for Kids for 10 years.
We know that this past year has been so challenging for so many. We are in awe of our teachers, our community partners, and volunteers who continue to adapt and innovate to serve kids in our community. Thank you to those people who never stopped wondering, what can I do to help right now? Maybe you're asking yourself the same question. With so many barriers to overcome, with so much need, how can one person make an impact?
Well, we're here to tell you that you can make a measurable difference right now, because it doesn't take much to positively impact a student's life or to help a teacher set their class up for success. It's something any of us and all of us can do right here tonight. It's time for the annual Night at the Shoreby Fund a Need, where we share our wish list with you. It's a wish list that Shoes and Clothes for Kids created with invaluable input from school administrators, distribution partners, and teachers who work with students and families we serve on a daily basis.
Let's start with what you can do for just one child. Thanks to the power of our buying program, a donation of $25 could provide a coat, hat, and gloves for one elementary student. It's beautiful now, but come winter, these essential items can mean the difference between being able to attend school and having to stay home. Your donation of $25 makes this possible for one student. For $50, you provide a student with a backpack overstuffed with grade-appropriate supplies. Many of us remember the excitement of back-to-school shopping. Imagine helping a child experience that excitement for the very first time. A $50 donation can do just that.
Next on our wish list, a week's worth of school-appropriate clothing or uniforms, socks, and underwear for $100. Kids didn't stop growing when they were doing virtual learning at home, and now they're ready to return and badly need appropriate clothing or uniforms. Your $100 donation could set them up for an entire semester. Combine these gifts, cold weather essentials, a filled backpack, and a week's worth of clothing, and you've helped a student with all of their basic needs for $175. For $250, you can provide hygiene kits for 75 students. These are filled with the everyday basic hygiene supplies that we often take for granted, but this is the #1 item requested by teachers and distribution partners. Your $250 gift helps provide that to 3 full classrooms of kids.
And finally, for $500, you could help 30 kids go back to school with brand new shoes. SC4K provides shoe passes to the kids we serve, so they get to personally select the size and the style they need. Everyone knows how good it feels to lace up a new pair of shoes. Now multiply that by 30 deserving kids in our community. And that's what a $500 donation can do. A small donation isn't small at all. It's huge to the child who walks to school in December, to the tween who grew out of their only pair of shoes, to the students whose families can't afford toothpaste. These are big needs that you can fund right now.
Here's how. To donate, visit www.nightattheshoreby.com, or if you'd rather text to donate, you can text Shoreby 2021 to 76278 to make your donation. You've been hearing about the impact of shoes and clothes for kids tonight. Here's your chance to be a part of it. Please help us fund a need tonight.
Hello, I'm Kelly Rudloff, co-chair of this year's Night at the Shoreby, along with Sarah Malamed. On behalf of both of us, I'd like to congratulate our award winners. We love recognizing those who contribute to the success of our mission and hope they know how truly appreciated they are. We also want to share a heartfelt thank you to the Night at the Shoreby Committee and the Shoes and Clothes for Kids staff. They spent countless hours creating the fantastic program you just enjoyed. And finally, we want to thank you. Your ongoing support, particularly over this past year, ensured that Shoes and Clothes for Kids didn't miss a beat in providing Cleveland's kids with everything they need to succeed in school. We hope you enjoyed the 16th annual Night at the Shoreby and look forward to seeing you again next year.